Well, things have been absolutely insane over the last few days as XRP's lawsuit with the SEC does seem to be coming towards an end here now that Judge Torres has said that XRP doesn't really meet the criteria of a security. Now, as a result of this ruling, of course, we have seen its price absolutely fly, going from 40 cents to up to 90 cents at one point, now bringing itself back down to around 72 cents, leaving a lot of people curious of what is going to happen next. And so what I wanted to do today is just talk to you a little bit about what I am expecting and whether or not it's too late to be buying XRP. Should you be looking for the next play, the next option, now that this one has seen growth of over 100%, or is there still some fuel here for XRP and can it continue into the future? So that's what we're going to answer today, and we are starting right now. So looking at this thing, we're going to start fundamentally and then we're going to break it down technically on the charts. Now, fundamentally speaking, I don't believe that it's too late to buy XRP, and let me explain why. Although I do believe that the short term could be bumpy, we could see growth, we could see a falling, you never really know, that what happened with XRP this week opened up the door for opportunity for it to really recapture the momentum that it left a couple years ago. If you haven't been following XRP or this lawsuit, what I will say is that over the last few years, XRP has been extremely limited in its growth as a result of everything happening with this lawsuit. Now, I'm not going to talk about morally, I'm not going to talk about emotionally with investors not liking XRP as a result of it. I'm simply going to talk about the fact that Coinbase, for example, had to delist XRP in order to not run into its own issues, which they did anyway, but obviously that does put a little bit of stain on the capability for people to even purchase XRP. And so as a result of that, when many of these cryptos are blowing up, your ADAs, your Solanas, your Matics, XRP kind of got left in the dust as a result of people not really having that much access to them, especially in the States. And now that we have seen some of these things reverse themselves, Coinbase start to relist XRP in many more exchanges, I believe that that does open up the door of opportunity so that whenever the market does get flooded with new investors, XRP will be on that catalog, on that list of cryptos for them to look up and get invested into. Because think about this. What we saw from XRP over the last 48 to 72 hours was strictly a result of people who are crypto based. If you're in crypto right now, to even have seen that news the other day, you have to be an adamant fan of crypto or brand new. Realistically, the people who just kind of knew about crypto whenever the pandemic started or just threw a little bit of money in, most of them are gone. Your average retail investor is not in crypto anymore. Most of us really know what we're talking about with crypto these days. Unless you go on crypto Twitter, then that's a whole different story. But what you have to understand is that what we've seen over the last 48 to 72 hours, with XRP's price climbing nearly 50 cents from 40 cents up to 95 cents, has been a result of only really hardcore crypto investors, crypto fans, and of course VCs within the crypto space. Think about what happened in 2021 when all of that new wave of investors that never heard of crypto before finally started to invest into crypto. We saw Ethereum, Solana, Bitcoin, ADA, Matic, all of them absolutely explode because all that new money was coming in. But as I mentioned before, XRP got left in the dust. Why? Because there was a lacking of understanding of what was happening with them, and there was a lacking of accessibility with XRP. And those two things are going to be lifted from above its head as a result of this, and I do believe that simply alone will put it in position that when the bull market does come around, it can move with the rest of the crowd and see a substantial amount of growth from here. I believe that it has truly been limited in its capability of achieving the things that it set out to do, and now that it has not got these big friggin' weights above its head, it can possibly achieve them, and I'm curious to see that. And so with that in mind, no, fundamentally, I don't believe that XRP, it's too late to buy it. Again, as I mentioned before, in the short term, it could get ugly, which I will explain in a second here. I do believe that fundamentally, this thing very easily can see a lot of growth in the future, and it has this extra stimulus above it right now that it has been maybe the one to open up doors for many other cryptos against lawsuits against the SEC. So fundamentally, I don't believe it's too late. Now, let's move into the chart here. Let's talk about what is going on with XRP and why I don't also believe it's too late here, but it is getting a bit risky. So what you have to understand again is that XRP just saw an absolutely explosive move out of an ascending structure. Remember, ascending structure is typically bearish. Ascending structure will typically get a move to the downside. And so whenever you reverse that and you go in the opposite direction, it takes even more momentum. You need even more momentum to be able to get out of something like this. And that is a part of the reason as to why I believe XRP has somewhat slowed down over the last 24 to 48 hours. hours. As we can see, its price is down from this peak of about 96 cents, down about 25%. Now, not only has it done that, but it's also running into the biggest, and I mean biggest, level of resistance that a crypto typically will have in between its 786 to 618 Fibonacci zone. As we can see here, this zone is exactly where we went up to before getting a rejection back to the downside, and so in my mind, it makes a lot of sense that we got a push off of this level. It took a lot of momentum to get out from this ascending structure, and whenever we got up to the biggest resistance zone possible, we did start to see a little bit of a rejection, and that is totally normal, and that's why I don't believe it's too late. This pullback is normal. What you can see here is that XRP is showing signs of just being a little exhausted, a little overextended. Looky here, we got the overbought reading on this chart prime oscillator. We do have this ribbon approaching that overbought area. It does just go to show that, yeah, we're probably going to be a little bit overextended when you see a move in one God candle. What's this? 100% in one day, in 24 hours. So a 24% pullback is not anything to be afraid of, and it's not something that I would deem the absolute end of this XRP move. It's simply just a healthy pullback as people start to take profits, because if they bought in the morning, by the nighttime, they had doubled their money. It's normal. Okay, so with this in mind, I'm not all too concerned about it. Yes, sure, could we come all the way back down to retest the top side of this ascending structure and possibly see its price go back down towards 60 cents? Yeah, absolutely, and I think it should do that. Come back and retest its previous point of resistance right here and establish it as support, and then continue on this trek to try breaking through this key level of resistance. No issue, that's healthy, and that is what I believe would allow it to see the healthy cool down and then get a move to the upside. And so with this in mind, from a technical perspective, I'm not all that worried about it. I wasn't worried about XRP back here. I knew that it had a future one day, and we just needed to see this thing play out, and I think that it has a future here. That's the reason why we were doing buys of XRP for, say, $200 here, $200 here, while we were buying other things such as Bitcoin, BNB, and some of the other ones. And now obviously with that in mind, we will have to continue to monitor it, and so if you do want to see what I am buying, do check out the Patreon down below. We just did a revamp over the last week, but with that in mind, I'm not too concerned about it. I think this pullback is healthy, and I think fundamentally it's in a great position to see growth over the long term. And so I will continue to update you if you guys do want to see it. I don't talk about XRP often on this channel, but I do follow it closely. So do let me know if you want to see it down in the comments below, and I will see you all next time. Peace.